So, hello and welcome back to another part here, part 2. This time trying to model my kernel. Sometimes I see like Instagram reels of her, like, thing is, Pompompurin gets in my feed a lot of times lately. I swear it's not a face. And sometimes this character appeared and I was kind of curious who that is sometimes with Pompompurin. So to quote, she is Bichonfrise. So I think a type of puddle. I hope I said that in the right manner, really fluffy and such. And she's dating Pompompurin. So I thought I would somehow include her as well. Like I stated in the last part, I wouldn't do something that, like I said, you wouldn't be in a bedroom plastering all your face all over. So of course I wanted to have a nice change of pace. Nothing too crazy, just something subtle again. And it's, like I said, I don't know the lore at all. I just Googled it on the Sanrio wiki and just saw this some sentences and stating she's fluffy, she loves accessoires, she loves to sometimes wear glasses, which is actually a nice detail to know, to be honest, because I am maybe planning a next bedroom diorama with her next, but with different, let's say, with different things she likes and other things maybe Pompompurin likes, but she won't like, so I will elaborate maybe later on that one. But for example, like having a table with makeup, for example, beauty things, such things, maybe this one is a bit more on the focus. Then with the Pompompurin, you will see that much later. For example, a workstation, so laptops, screens, I don't know. I just imagined he would game and such things, so just the opposite of my current, actually. So, yeah, I think that's a nice pace. I'm not sure, like I said, if this is lore relevant, or I didn't base it on any lore. It just was like how I imagined they would be or something, or how the bedrooms would be. So nothing, you shouldn't read too much into that. I'm just trying to do something. So, and to have fun and to also learn a lot about mostly modeling, of course. And you see, like last time I told you, the mirror modifier again here, for example, I use it a lot of times. To be honest, later you will notice a lot too, but I went a bit too crazy on the overall count of faces in the whole scene. I think it was like over 19 million, which is way too much. Like I said, you will notice much later that I had like moments of loading screens or anything like this. And then I was first of all confused because I thought, okay, I didn't do something too crazy, something not too CPU, which a CPU would maybe overload or something. Well, until I finally visualized the statistics on the upper end. I think that's later, or you saw it in the last video, where I put on the normal, where you could see the normals, like the blue and red thing. Actually, there has a box as well with statistics. My god, there we go. Statistics, and on the left side they will show you how much faces you have per, let's say, the object you actually select, or the whole scene with A actually, or how many tries there are, how many edges, how many vertexes. And let's say I didn't pay any mind, first of all, and until I noticed, like I said, loading screen was way too much, and then I noticed, maybe there is way too much going on in my scene. Who would have thought? And this is why maybe in the last part, I used a lot of decimate modifier, a lot of, let's say, lessening the subdivision, and also I noticed you don't need so much beveling at all. Oopsie. So normally 10 steps of beveling is more than enough, but sometimes I went for like 70, 96, which was, in hindsight, terrible. So I kind of learned from that experience actually, so hopefully you won't make that mistake that I actually made. But I know for now that I won't do it again, of course. And I didn't edit the parts at all, to be honest, so I included every damn mistake I made because I thought maybe that's more relatable, or I don't know, maybe people can give me advice or tips and tricks and such things. I do know that not everything I made is ideal for right now, but this is why I want to do like various small projects where I can work with purpose. Like I said, for example, with the models, only quads so they can deform properly when you do rigging. With the diorama, like I said, I don't care at all about angles and such things. Unless, of course, there are shading problems, then I will fix it, but otherwise I wouldn't do it for now. So that's that actually. And sometimes with the mirror modifier, I think sometimes I did delete unnecessarily, to be honest, or I made it a bit too complicated. So I would be glad if some people have advice on that one actually, because I tend to overthink or make things unnecessarily complicated, even though I don't think I should make it more complicated, since life in itself is more than enough complicated. And being an artist, let's say a successful artist who can live from their art, is something, a great achievement, I will dare say. So I have a lot of respect for people who do that. It doesn't matter if it's via Patreon, YouTube, Twitch, doesn't matter. Platform doesn't matter in that case, because I think it's amazing. Well, except for TikTok, but TikTok is something, just a beast on its own, to be honest. I don't want to shit on TikTok too much. It's more like a thing of, I think people know this as well, but you can gain fast views, likes, and whatever, traction, such things. But the cost is you really don't gain or make a community, which is in the long run a big problem. I see a lot of people, like I said, I don't in itself have TikToks. I hear a lot of people talking about TikTok, but without me seeing those damn videos, because I don't want to download the app on its own. I'm just posting there sometimes just in the hopes to, let's say, boost my YouTube channel, or just having them as a tandem thing. Like normally when some artists have some socials, they don't have only one social, especially they most likely have Twitter as well, Instagram, TikTok, those things and such. So yeah. And where was I headed again? So TikTok in itself, like I said, is not so bad or something. I just don't want it to backtalk that much. But you can form a community, and I noticed a lot of times that people report or say, okay, she got famous overnight and such things, but like I said, or not like I said, but like I think at least, or thought I would have said already, but getting famous is one very big obstacle, a great one, to be very honest, even though nowadays it's much easier than in the early YouTube days, of course. And secondly, staying famous. So, and TikTok kind of showed me that those, let's say, interesting figures got really fast promoted, or let's say famous, but you saw that their content or whatever they were making are too, let's say, they focused too much on this one hit or something, and they made various, I don't know, contracts and those things, and they just didn't. Some people didn't care or didn't seem to care at least, and they didn't stay famous. So for me, that just means that they thought, okay, I can do just something or some things, I don't know, regularly for a short time, let's say 2 months, 3 months, I don't know. And I think that's enough to stay fame or in business, whereas this is not reality. This is why I sometimes criticize TikTok, and I say, okay, of course, this person doesn't stay famous or doesn't stay relevant or whatever. And I think with YouTube, people care a bit more. I mean, there are people who do upload schedules and sometimes fail them or do them regularly, so it depends, I don't know. Depends on the person. I cannot judge or say, of course. But I feel like this YouTube is more a place of, okay, we are a community, we make the effort to be a community. So, and TikTok is not that for me. Like I said, I sometimes post there as regularly as I can, but it's not my first social. So yeah, for me personally, YouTube is more important, and also because of the fact you can plan or schedule your uploads, which is really nice. Because for me, a small creator, doing things regularly while I work part time, or let's say most of the time, and do this for now as a, let's say, hobby thing. I mean, most people start that way, of course. They like something, do it as a hobby, maybe dream about doing that full time as a job, but like I said, it's a bit different from going to, okay, this is a hobby, to this is a job now, of course, because then you have expectations and all those things. Unless you are a perfectionist and you love being really correct in those things, which sometimes I am. Also about the beveling, like I mentioned here, you saw 91. Later, much later, you will see I just corrected that one because that's unnecessary. Following my thought train again from earlier, I sometimes do that, I'm sorry about that, is that, of course, I want to have a long-time community because, first of all, why not? Secondly, if I can meet people with the same interests and such things, why not again? And it can be pretty fun, but TikTok doesn't really deliver that for me, so no thanks. I do post there, yes, in the hopes of getting traction and such things, but for me YouTube is important, but also ArtStation, because there you can promote, I think, the models you do or the work you do. It doesn't matter 3D, 2D, more efficiently. I think people will more, you can, no, let's say it in another way. Studios can see your profile, so when you apply to them, or in general apply to a position where this kind of artwork you do is a product, they will see your, of course, your portfolio and such things. And I think ArtStation does make it a bit easier for you. So I really like ArtStation in that regard a lot, to be honest. Also because you can find job postings, and if you want to go abroad, that's perfect for you. I would for sure go there and do your portfolio there. About ArtStation, I don't know how the opinions differ there a lot. Some people say just post your work in progress. Some people say just do your only your best work. What I heard when I was studying at the SCE from my partner, actually, that, let's say, he asked the teacher what was the best course. Exactly this question: should he do something work in progress things, or should he do only his best work? And the answer of the teacher was pretty easy. He said the best, because of course, because he doesn't have so much time to review a portfolio, and he sometimes does compare the worst what you did to your best to see, let's say, your progress you did. So even though you think, let's say you have 10 pieces of 3D models, like characters, for example, you want to do characters and you have 10 posts there, and he will look at all of them, of course, and watch closely for the time he has, of course, and then compare your best character subjectively or objectively, what he is looking for the style and such things, the one that fits the style probably the most, and will compare to the worst. As far as I remember, that was the case. So for me personally, for what should a student do who doesn't have so much content? Honestly, I do right now post things, just let's say my own projects. So I don't have any projects on there anymore, or I deleted them actually when I was studying, because they are often unrefined, of course, or you work with, let's say, a rule set from the school. It's not your own thing, right? So I deleted those and made some own projects. I didn't post so much there. First, I used to, with the simulations, for example, but then my mind came to, okay, the models aren't that nice. Maybe I am interested in modeling, so there wasn't any issue in that at all. But I noticed when someone takes a look, it didn't seem professional enough. Sometimes I'm too harsh on myself as well, but it didn't seem like to me or occur to me that this will be a good call. So I thought that I would be more selective about the things I post on ArtStation, especially. And not YouTube. YouTube, I will post just about anything, just also to fit the algorithm, but also trial and error. I mean, why not? But in ArtStation, I want to be a bit more selective. Want to bring out the, let's say, the better projects there. I am well aware that after half a year or so, or even earlier, I will delete some where I didn't like or such, and just put the better ones on there, of course. But this is pretty normal. I think after graduating, I mean, I've been studying for 2 years. After graduating, I normally count for, let's say, 2 to 5 years until, if your wish is to freelance, that you will need that kind of time to get really good, that people want to pay for the services you want to provide, actually. So that's also the time I accumulate for having a proper portfolio where it's your thing, it screams you, and not, that's the thing what you've done at studying, so whatever. Everyone can do that shit or anything like that. So that's what I wanted to actually tell a bit into deeper thoughts here. I hope that kind of advice helps. Maybe I'm being obvious. I don't know. Maybe some people do prefer your progress over the years. I am not so sure what kind of recruiters are out there, but most probably, to be very honest, the reality is really harsh. And I know this also for juniors. It's not easy to, let's say, get an internship, get a job in this, let's say, VFX or modeling or whatever, something creative. Hasn't always been so easy, actually, at all. So I think that's why maybe they're being a bit harsher, because they have enough seniors who do that for, let's say, less time. So why should I bother hiring you when someone who's faster and better can do more work? So that's how I try to justify, at least. And being not so harsh to yourself, like I said, I am a bit harsh on myself, so it's not easy. It gets frustrating as well. And I am rather impatient, so isn't exactly much better for the situation right now. So for people thinking, okay, you do the tutorial, what's your goal? My goal is to get better. My goal is to, let's say, somehow capture the thought process, what I do, but also of the work I do, and let's say, hopefully, gain a community, hopefully, let's say, do freelancing, live from YouTube. But this is something I don't account for. This is something I waste time in for my own good. I like to do that. Most people also tell you that, of course, if money is your main reason, then you're doing it wrong anyways. So if something good comes out of all this work, the better. If not, the worst, like I said, is maybe noticing my mistakes and getting better. So I think I can only win here somehow. At least that's what I think, of course. Other socials, Twitter, I do understand some advantages of having Twitter, but honestly, I just don't want to have Twitter. I once had it, and as a private person, and to be very honest, was way enough. And after, Elon Musk buying it and calling it X, I grew certain that I don't want to have it at all anytime now, unless there's, I don't know, a benefit tied to it. But for now, I don't see any benefit here at all. So it's just toxic. People being shitty. I know that's the internet in general, of course, but there are better places for that, to be honest. And when you have a community, let's say on Discord, for example, that could be something really good. I mean, there are many YouTubers here having Discord servers and they just get along more than fine and are really wholesome. So why should I download Twitter or make a Twitter account with Domer Lover? That doesn't seem too, for now at least, too beneficial to me. And Instagram is something I do have Instagram, don't get me wrong, because people tend to say, well, you need to be present in every social somehow to, of course, increase the exposure, right? And yes, there's truth behind it. It's not like it's wrong, okay? But I want to do my own thing, and Instagram is a bit of a problem. I know I'm nitpicking here, but I mentioned earlier you can schedule uploads, and on Instagram you cannot do that, but you have to I'm not sure how it's called again, but a scheduler which you have to pay for, that you can upload your stuff regularly, or you can plan the stuff, which is just stupid. I'm sorry. I mean, sorry for complaining here, but like I said, I'm a small creator. Most socials want you to be regular, so scheduling uploads is really important for me because I want to do work beforehand. So for now I'm recording like 3 parts right now, and I want to, on YouTube for example, I want to schedule them every week so I can have actually a proper and regular uploading schedule. I mean, nothing wrong with that, right? And Instagram doesn't provide that for me. And I don't think Instagram is a strong suit of mine as well, because mostly my work is in the format of 16:9. So and on Instagram it's like, of course, phone format, smaller format, 4:3, for example. You have, of course, the wider and the standard, the smaller and such, but this doesn't seem like a strong suit. Of course, I do, like I said, do upload on TikTok. Now you're asking why I do on TikTok and why not on Instagram, even though it's also phone format in that case. But the main reason is really that you can schedule your uploads, and I don't take TikTok so serious. So for me, it's like a pilot project for me, honestly. So, I mean, if you count something good from it, okay, and if not, not. So I want to stay on this kind of format 16:9 because, of course, I'm working on the laptop. Quality is there, and it's normal for the industry to work on that format. So, of course, you have bigger formats like 4K and such things. So, but my videos are mostly for, let's say, you can watch on your phone and such. That's all good and great. When you see my YouTube videos on your phone, that's good. But normally, I am kind of, let's say, not regretting, that's the wrong word, but I'm kind of expecting you to be on your laptop because, like, you can follow through. You can see all the things I'm typing and see, well, not typing because my screencast key is not present here, but you can see what I do and such in a much better way. Of course, a lot of YouTube shorts exist about Blender and such, and there are people who are doing amazing job, but I notice it's not for me, so I won't enter that era anytime soon, unless it's really beneficial for me, or I suddenly become famous, which honestly I do not fucking believe. I mean, just talking to myself right now, I don't have any community. Most people start that way, of course, and of course being entertaining. But I here just want to capture what I do, what I like. I love Pompompurin. Nothing matters more than that. So, and I want to stay true to myself. and that's the most important thing for me. So if social like Twitter doesn't work out for me, or let's say TikTok is not nothing in the long run I would use, at least for community wise, that's on me and not for someone else to decide. Unless you have partnerships later on, then maybe, I guess. But right now, of course, the good thing is, I'm not saying there are too many advantages here, but one bigger advantage is when you are a small creator, you can just freely choose the fuck you want to do and in which format. Maybe I should cut down on the swearing, but rather you have your own rules, you make your own rules, and that's what I like. That's something I really like to do. So no one can say when I can post, of course. No one can say where do I post and such things. And like I said, I do have my priorities here, so not sure if it helps you or you can help me and such. I'm not sure about that, but I will see as I go, actually. So that's that. Yeah. On here, what I can comment is, well, stupid me actually. Why the fuck didn't I use a mirror modifier in the beginning here? On the nightstand, I'm not sure myself, to be honest. I wanted to eyeball it first. Sometimes eyeballing does work, but I don't have much experience yet, so I mean, trying is not bad, like I said. I mean, worst case, you learn from your mistakes, right? So, yeah. I really enjoyed making this project, to be very honest. I'm not sure if the next part 3, is being voiced over. I'll see to that. I'm not sure if I should just put some music on and people just can, let's say, relax and watch the procedure go, or if they like listening to, let's say, a human voice and doing some things here. So I will be really glad to have feedback on that one. It took me a lot of courage also to record, but I thought maybe I should try that, and if I notice it's nothing for me, I would just let it be, or if people say it really helps, or my voice could be calming, I don't know. I don't have a Bob Ross voice, so sorry about that, but yeah, I mean, just go ahead. I'm happy about that. I'm flexible, so it doesn't matter. Advice I can give on after doing the project is, I mean, if you have a strong laptop, or let's say a strong workstation, of course you can go ahead with the subdivision modifier, of course, right? Thing is, but now, wait, let me rephrase again. Thing is what your purpose is, and also sometimes there are unnecessary too many phases, so you want to avoid that. And especially if I want later to develop a game, I need to be more mindful of my resources. So, and this is something the studies did teach. Don't tell, like SIA did teach that. It's not they didn't teach that, but I think it's another thing. If you learn it for yourself or make your own project, I think that's actually the best way to learn, or let's say learn and practice to do that, I think, honestly. And the more you do it, the better, of course. I mean, no one would argue against that. And I mean, like I said, it's frustrating if you want to do it professionally. I mean, there are so many talented people around there, but just compare yourself to yourself, like yesterday, tomorrow. I don't care how you do it, but just your own. I mean, you can have, of course, aspirations or an idol. I mean, I really like how Ducky 3D, for example, does the molograph. I mean, it's amazing and so polished. And my things just are fucking too colorful and not polished. But I know that I don't want to do something realistic, but rather, let's say, stylized, not too realistic. I'm just not into that. And for people asking maybe why that the case is, I think, for me personally, art represents something that reality doesn't have. So I'm more interested in things that do not exist than exist. And of course, I don't want to downgrade those people and their efforts because they're power horses of their own, to be honest, okay? I'm just saying, for me personally, subjectively, art is to be more abstract, and I prefer that a lot. Like I said, it's a preference for me. And reality sometimes is often disappointing, so I do not want to create something that reality already has. Maybe sometimes it is for me an escape of reality, just like watching anime for me, for example, is. Of course, I do enjoy anime as well. Not criticizing it too much here, but that's what art represents for me, and I think for me personally, it's not my thing to mimic or try to do realistics. I think my time is better used for something, to create something that doesn't really exist. Like this bedroom of Diorama thing. I'm not sure if this exists on YouTube. I did beforehand some tiny research, but after actually I finished the project, because I want to do something many people do not do or don't think, or like my brain on midnight goes like, hey, do you think I should do this one? Or did someone do already this one? And then I scratch my head, I'm like, maybe I should. I mean, why not, right? I mean, exploring things is really good here, and I think Blender is really a great thing to do that. More than great, of course, marvelous. So go ahead, do something that is unusual. If people will like it, or let's say if it's going to be successful, I am totally not sure. For now, I think no one should care. Just do what you like. Fuck it. Doesn't matter. Of course, if someone has critique, and let's say good placed critique, like me here being stupid and not, or just, too many subdivision modifiers, too many faces, like I said, later you will see the loading screen a lot, or not using the mirror modifier here for whatever damn reason that is. It can happen. I mean, be ready to receive critique, trying not to take it too personally, because mostly I think people want really to help you, so, or they come from a place of experience and thought, damn, I was stupid, maybe I should tell this person, and this person can grow faster. So like I said, as long as it's not too judgmental, let's say neutral, and from a helping place, all is good. I think then you should really accept the advice, of course. Because sometimes I know this with me myself as well. I get frustrated because it's not perfect the first time, or I have to redo a model. I used to really refuse to redo a model and just fix the model until, I don't know, I felt like that I couldn't do anything. There were many times where I thought I should stop with Blender because I'm way too bad at it. But then really, especially after this project, I mean, just wanted to do it for myself. Like I said, it's not, I will, of course, like I said, I will post it here, but it's also for myself somehow, capturing this journey as well. So I think it's a different thing while you do it and then you review your footage and think, that was stupid, maybe I should do it different next time. And then having the satisfaction of actually improving and having done something really cute like Pompompurin. I mean, come on, like I said, Pompompurin, come on. Who doesn't like Pompompurin? And then really enjoying yourself, even though it takes a long time, doesn't matter, it will get faster. And of course, I know it comes from a beginner like me. Well, what's a beginner? I started picking up Blender in... I started studying 2020. There they teach us Maya, and then after 1 or 2 years, I think 2022, I think there it was, I picked up Blender because I was not liking Maya, and I asked my teacher if I could use Blender instead, because first of all, I didn't like it, Maya, and secondly, for our things we had to hand in, the projects, modeling wasn't so important. Most of the people actually in my grade or in my class, let's say it like this, actually used to just download any models. It was approved, so don't get me wrong here, okay? No shame in that as well, okay? And we did some CGI where you had to include the 3D object and kind of 3D track it as well. And that's where the morgue is ending actually. Tiny cliffhanger, so see you in the next part.